Oh, okay. All right, all right. Is my beard getting grayer like as they do this? Can you tell? Is there more gray coming in just like throughout the process?
When we hit the road, we encountered many unknowns. Probably the biggest one for us was how to take our bikes with us without them getting totally destroyed or stolen. Granted, there were 5 of us, and traveling with 5 bikes isn't easy. Over the years, as the kids left the nest and our RVs changed, we found new ways to manage our travel with bikes. And in this episode, we want to share with you what we've done, what's worked, what hasn't, and why Marc finally got a truck topper.
Say hello to my new truck topper. It's actually not new, it's actually used. I called down to Topper King and I was inquiring about a truck topper because we've wanted one for a while, and a lot of people in the community have been saying, hey Marc, you really need to get one for the bikes, and it's just more storage, especially with the bed slide. Totally agree. And so I called, and you know, these things are not cheap. And he told me the price, you know, painted one. And I hesitated and I go, I don't know, I think I might be selling the truck in August. And he said, what color is your truck again? I said, it's a TriStar white. And he says, it's a Super Duty? I said, yeah. He goes, and it's a 6'9" bed? And I go, yeah. He says, I think I got to use one. So I got this thing for 50% off. I said, I will be down there today. And I was. Anyway, so this has been a long time coming, and the reason we did it now is mainly because of the bikes. If you caught our ride series when Caleb, me, and Bill rode from Michigan down to Florida, Caleb really proved himself as a rider, and now he wants to go race for Liberty when he goes off to college this year. So we're selling his Trek Checkpoint, which is a gravel bike, and we got him the Trek Emonda, which is kind of a racing climbing bike. And I just couldn't stand the thought of these bikes being on the back of the Airstream in the rain. They get rusted, they get dirty, and then at nighttime, if we're dry camping somewhere, I hear a noise and I think, is somebody messing with our bikes? I had to get them in here. And so in this episode, we want to share with you about how I got this set up, installing the truck topper. We want to talk about Kuat racks because we do love that rack, and there's some things we think you need to know about that. Just kind of all things about traveling with bikes. But before we get started, on our way down to get the truck topper installed, Caleb has like some conspiracy theory on this top, like I'm trying to hide it from Trish. I'm not hiding anything.
He's not hiding it from Mom, he's just gonna show Mom that he did it instead of asking.
Mom doesn't care. Mom knows that we need to not have road bikes get rained on and sit on the back of the Airstream as we drive through Canada and down to Nebraska to hopefully do the rag ride. That's what Mom...
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Dad. If she knew, she would say yes. She just doesn't know. She just doesn't know.
She doesn't care. You and Mom are the ones that don't like the whole truck tap idea, but I think it doesn't matter what anyone thinks now, including me. We just have to make sure the bikes A, don't get stolen, and B, don't get damaged.
Right, you're justifying it. Well,
I'm not justifying anything.
Well,
I really don't want our bikes to get stolen and rained on.
You know, it's not even a question. It's just something we have to do.
Topper King.
All your topper needs.
Turn left, then your destination will be on the right.
All right, there it is. It's on. I love it. I think it looks great. I think it looks better, actually. And I'll be interested to see what Trish says when we get back. Look at that. What are your first impressions?
Mom is so out, but I think it looks great.
You're out?
I had to park here so I could get a full scope of how awesome it is.
Oh my gosh, good for
Are
you.
you joking?
It looks beautiful.
I think it looks, I'm on board.
Come on out. Maybe you're not looking close enough. Get out. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Yeah, a heck of a deal too.
A heck, 50% off.
That's right.
I remember as a kid sitting in the back of a truck with this. In California, my granddad built a little swing in the back, and we'd sit back there.
So it's bringing back memories.
It's amazing.
There we go. I mean, the Topper King emblem has to. We gotta take that off with some goof on. Oh, wow. No, this is legit. Look, matching. I mean, this couldn't have worked out better.
I agree.
Carpet stuff in. That's cool.
It smells, it smells like boating.
It's got like new camper top smell.
If you're new to RVing, there are a couple things you should know about towable RVs and hitches. First, the back end of a trailer is a lot like a whip. While you're comfortable riding your tow vehicle, adjusting your climate by a couple of degrees, the back end of your trailer is hanging on for dear life. There's tremendous force on the welding joints of your hitch, which is why RV hitches commonly fail.
Oh, you're doing more work? You're doing bike rack stuff?
Also, there's a bike rack for sale.
Is there?
We're selling a bike now and a bike rack.
Yeah, we decided to forego the bike rack setup because it's too much whiplash.
This is the best part. We found
Crap.
Oh yeah.
a cracked.
It just can't handle the...
Well, it's like whiplash.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've heard that.
It's not a bad idea to have the welding joints on your hitch receiver reinforced at a welding shop, especially if you're traveling with heavy e-bikes. Even if your hitch is properly welded, the second issue is the bounce from the bike rack inside of the hitch receiver. Mini bike racks, such as Kuat racks, provide the ability to remove the rattle by tightening a knob, expanding the stinger into the hitch receiver. If this is not available on your hitch, you can buy an anti-rattle clamp, and it will completely remove the rattle, properly securing your bike to the hitch.
And so these Kuat racks, when you put it in here like this, they come with this little knob to tighten it up, which is great, and it works perfect on the Airstream. But the thing that's wiggling is not inside here, it's the fact that the reducer sleeve is wiggling. So I finally broke down and got this. It's like that. That's tight now, let's see. Yeah, see? See? Now it's solid, even with the reducer sleeve.
Oh, wow. If your RV doesn't have a hitch, as our Airstream didn't when we bought it, you can always install one. We installed a hitch receiver by welding a 3-inch tube between the metal plates on each side of the bumper. We did this at Cliff's Welding in Mesa, Arizona. If I can remember correctly, the cost was around $700. We've since talked to Woodland's Airstream, and they have a bolt-on version that costs much less. Some Airstreamers question the weight and balance of having bikes on the very back. We've had zero issues with sway or any noticeable difference in handling or towing. Regarding the Kuat rack itself, it's out of the way. Kuat racks tilt back, making it easy to access our rear and bumper storage. Apart from the bikes being exposed during travel, this is a great system.
Okay, we need to chat about bike racks. Even though we're going to be carrying the bikes in the back of the truck now, we're still keeping the Kuat rack on the back of the Airstream because it's so easy and convenient. And when there's times that we're going to need to just put the bikes on the back, then we can do so. So I brought my bike out here so that I can show you how easy it is to operate. There's a lever right here that makes this go down flat. Let me just put the bike on first. And okay, I could have been more prepared. That's about it, just like that. Super simple to operate, very easy to get the bikes on and off. We've learned that the easier it is to get a bike on and off, the more likely that you'll use the bike. Even as simple as something as using your bikes to go up to the front office just to get the Wi-Fi password, something where you don't want to get into your truck or tow vehicle. These racks operate with a road bike, as you can see, gravel bike, mountain bike, e-bike. They all work. This is the 3-bike version. I want to talk a bit about that. This is the Transfer 2. And I want to share a little bit about the differences, but first let's just chat about the functionality. So there's this lever down here that brought it down. I can hit it one more time and I can bring it, tilt it back, and then it gives me plenty of room to come in here and get stuff out of the bumper. So I really like that. And then just clip it up like this. And then the way it's designed, it kind of kicks up a little bit higher so that when we go over curbs and things like this, the bikes are even higher. Okay, so this is the Transfer 2. This, the Transfer 2 model is the RV approved version. But the catch is, only the 2-bike model, not the 3-bike, is RV approved. And I can kind of see why, because when we have all 3 bikes on here, I mean, it comes out like 3.5 feet. So I could see why the 2-bike version would be the one that's approved. We've also had the Sherpa 2.0, and that's a good rack. In fact, it's my favorite rack just because of the color scheme. But the thing I like about it the most is that all the Kuat racks have an anti-rattle device where basically the stinger that goes into the receiver, they have like this little ball joint on it, and when you turn the knob, it expands and it makes it really tight inside the receiver. And what that does is it prevents the rack itself from rattling, and it's all the rattling and the bouncing around where you end up having like a welding failure. Well, the Sherpa 2 has a knob. I can just tighten it by hand. The Transfer models have a little star wrench. It's like an Allen wrench that's a star, and that's, you have to use the little Allen key to tighten it up. So A, it's kind of a pain. B, you're susceptible to over tightening it, which I've done and broken the mechanism. And C, I have to keep track of it. And although it's a standard tool, it never seems to be in the right spot. It's either in the Airstream or if it's in the tow vehicle. I'm always hunting around looking for it. And if you can't find it, you will not be able to get the rack out of the receiver. Other than that drawback, the Transfer 2 has been really good. It's all very stout. It's a very simple design, super good. So the Sherpa 2, although not RV approved, we've driven tens of thousands of miles with it and never had an issue. This is the Transfer 2. The model that we have never used from Kuat is the I think it's called a Piston, and I believe that is RV approved also, and it's kind of a higher end or high end bike rack, and it looks pretty cool. I've only seen it on the website, but I think it's RV approved. The other thing I want to chat about is the integrated locking system. So if I want to lock it, then all I do is just wrap that around, go through here like this, and then I just pop it into the to the rack itself, and then I have a key to unlock that. This is not something that I would rely on entirely, because if someone came really prepared, they could probably get through this. But I think it does a really good job if someone was just walking by and they looked over and they saw those bikes and they weren't prepared, that they wouldn't be able to get through this. So I like that the lock is integrated, but if we're going to be gone for long periods of time and we're going to have our road bikes, we'd probably just go ahead and put them inside the Airstream while we're away. But while we're for travel days or when we're in a safe campground, I think we're good.
If you have a van or Class B and aren't towing a car, bikes can be an essential tool while RVing. Once you're all set up at a campsite, the difficulty of tearing down to drive to dinner can be just enough to make you decide to eat leftovers. But with bikes, you can ride into town for dinner or groceries, and with an e-bike, you might even make it to the next town over. But if your Class B has rear opening doors, which is common, you'll likely need a swing-away hitch. When our friends Bill and Wendy were traveling in the Gretsch Strata Ion, we used the Kuat Pivot swing-away hitch and mounted the Kuat Sherpa bike rack to it with no issues.
Check this out. Isn't that cool? This little pivot thing. I want to cover all this, but this is the Kuat Pivot, and then look at click,
Click.
and then this is the Sherpa 2, which I love.
Yes, we do love this. But this is fabulous for having a door right there. Look how easy that is. I mean, obviously there's no bikes on here right now, but it will be just as smooth.
I think so, yeah.
And then you can open it up right there.
I think you can. And look, it goes right over there.
Right over.
Isn't that awesome?
No problemo. Look at that. That's great.
Tell people are really sold on this solution. Oh, what a great idea, Mark. You're gonna love the topper.
You don't have to do this every day though.
Well, Kayla might.
Not every day.
Yeah, see that? Oh wait, here, we go inside there.
You have to go inside the handlebar, then how do you get it out?
Well, I think I'd like to, because I can make them tighter, you see.
Yeah, but then how do you get it out? Oh, you have to unhook, go forward, move out, and then back up.
All right, right now it's raining. The bikes are neatly tucked in the truck cap. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to run out and be like, it's raining, and put the bike cover on like I used to have to do. So that's a great solution. But what I wanted to do is provide a little information as to how I got here, and I also want to provide a bit of caution so that you don't spend money on things that you don't really need, things that I would do differently. For instance, I think the setup right now with the bed slide and the truck cap and the bed rug, pretty good. I'm very happy. There's a few things I'd do differently because of how I got here. If I would have started with a truck cap and a bed slide, I'd do the full length bed slide, and it would be one that I could pull all the way out. Whereas this bed slide, it comes out not all the way. It's like it comes out 3/4 of the way. The other issue I've got is because these are road bikes, you can see I can only take the bed slide out to right here because the seat post is going to hit it. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, Mark, just hit the quick release and lower the seat. Not with these bikes, you can do that. In fact, we spent a lot of time getting these bikes fitted just right, and the last thing we want to do is start messing with the seat height posts every time we want to ride. So as a result, I can only pull them out to right here, which means in order to get them out, I have to turn them at an angle. And another option, of course, would be to get the big high truck cap, and I think Trish would have been an absolute no on that. It's lucky that I even got this. Okay, the bed rug. I probably wouldn't do the bed rug either unless if I had the truck cap, so it all matched. So if I didn't have the truck cap, I wouldn't do the bed slide, and I wouldn't do the bed rug. I'd just do the spray and liner. And one of the reasons I wouldn't do the bed rug is because of this. I think it looks kind of chintzy, and I even considered cutting the bed rug right here and just kind of binding the edge, and then just getting the tailgate sprayed. Because I always kind of thought, like, this isn't ideal. I suppose I could spray it with some adhesive and put it down a little bit tighter, but then it gets dirty, and then, you know, there's dog food and there's branches, and it was just always messy. Whereas the spray and bed liner I thought was a better solution. But now with the truck cap, because it all matches, I'm happy with it. These are just some things I want to bring up through our experience. In terms of the bikes, what I did is I actually mounted this. This is a through axle, and I think a lot of people are going to mention that bed slide actually makes a Thule fork mount in the front. The problem is that's a traditional fork mount, whereas some of the road bikes and newer mountain bikes have what's called a through axle. So it's a different type of fork mount that I haven't found on bed slide yet. So I bolted this to the front here. I bolted Caleb's through the rail in the front, and then I just got them as tight as I can. So I'm going to make some tweaks to this. Again, a lot of drawbacks, but the overall solution I'm happy with. You know, at some point you just have to prioritize what's the most important thing to do. Put that first, and then just deal with the consequences, because no matter what solution you have, there'll always be a drawback. So for us right now, this isn't the most elegant solution. There's a few drawbacks, but I think it's going to work for our priorities. One thing that Trish wanted me to mention is that, you know what, if you don't want to deal with all this bike rack and storage and traveling with bikes, just rent them. We've done that a lot of times before. Up in Door County, we've rented bikes. A lot of places that you might want to ride, like Mackinac Island, there are going to be bikes available, and then you can avoid the whole situation. And if you have kids, a lot of times when we were traveling with 5 bikes, if one bike didn't work, or if one bike needed had a broken derailleur, well, what are you gonna do? You're gonna leave that one person behind? So you're kind of like all out. And so in that situation, renting might be a great solution. Or if you have young kids, that's easy, you just throw them in the back. Not the kids, the bikes. Oh my gosh, I wish I had that on video. I kid you not, I'm not making this up. And maybe he calls everybody Papa. But he called me Papa 4 times. You need a receipt, Papa? I've never been called Papa in my life. Not one time ever. And now not that I care, I really don't. But it's just kind of funny. I got the truck cap now, and he's referred to me as Papa. I almost want to hang out and just to see what he calls the next guy. Call me Papa. You call everybody Papa? Or did you call me Papa because I got a truck cap on my truck? No. Come on, man, be honest. You can be honest with me.
No, I just call everybody Papa.
Okay, because I've only had it for a week, and that's the first time I've ever been called Papa, and I thought, times are changing.
No, I just do it like that. It's because, you know, I'm Latino, and I think it's just a little bit part of the culture. Not everybody uses it, but...